for remembering the time change. We are on time. I am facilitating, and we have Jackie on notes with Lisa on a TA board. We've only got about 7 people in here so far, so we're just going to continue to wait until we get a few more. If anybody wants to talk, just press 1 and you can talk, but I don't think many people want to hear the music right now, so I'm going to leave the music off, and as soon as we get maybe 8 or 9 people, we'll start going through the agenda. Check. There's lots of cool things happening in the Occupy movement this week with the Global Climate Convergence and the Cowboy Indian Alliance setting up teepees on the National Mall. That's great news. I think they must have got a permit, because I don't know how you're allowed to camp out with teepees on the National Mall, but that's happening. That's great news. Got an email from Tricia in Philadelphia, which is a detailed outreach media report back. It's mainly media. Got lots of tweets on our Twitters and lots of likes on the Facebook page, and some videos coming together for content that we can share with people to get them interested in coming to Sacramento. Nobody else has really joined the call yet. I'm going to give latecomers 2 more minutes, minute and a half until 6:35, and then we're just going to get rolling, because maybe everybody will come on at 7. Tonight's agenda is juicy and looking delicious. There's going to be a lively discussion about Lumio. We're going to try to get our jargon, our East Coast jargon, matching up with our West Coast jargon. I remember the first one I noticed was subgroup compared to working group. I thought subgroup was just as fine. All right, everybody. It is 6:35, and there are 7 of us on the weekly NatGat working group phone call, and we have some business to get to, so we might as well get started. So happy Wednesday, everybody. Thanks for being here at the new time, 6:30. If you are not aware, the Maestro system has buttons you can press on your phone or your keyboard to express yourself and to get on stack. The numbers are 1 if you'd like to speak, get on stack. 2 if you want to up twinkle or express approval for what's being said. 3 to down twinkle or express disapproval for what's being said. 4 is if you have a very important direct response that you need to say directly to the person who's speaking. And 5 is a clarifying question or technical problem. It's a distress call in a lot of ways. So those are the numbers and how they work. How the call works is we're going to do check-ins and announcements, then go to report backs, followed by old business, and then new business. We will try to get done on time. That will be 8:30. And with that said, I'd like to start with the check-ins. We're just going to go right down the line. So I'll start with me rather than bringing up the end. Hi, this is Chaz from Occupy Pittsburgh. I am real happy to be on this call this week. I'm sorry I missed it last week. And that's me checking in. Check. Next up is Carrie Marks. Carrie, your microphone is on.
Aloha, y'all. This is Carrie from Occupy Hilo checking in. I missed last week, too, so glad to hear everybody's voice this week. Check.
Thanks, Carrie. Good to hear from you. Jackie, your microphone is on.
Hi, I got popped off the call, but I guess I got back in time. Jackie, interact, and I'm taking notes. Check.
Thanks for that. Check in, Jackie. Donna, you're next on the list here. Your microphone is open.
Hello, everyone. This is Donna from Occupy San Diego. Just really having beautiful weather here and motivating myself for getting out of this apartment finally, hitting the road and helping NatGat in any way I can. Love you guys. I yield.
Right on. Thanks, Donna. You got twinkles from me on that one. Lisa, you are up on Stack. Your microphone is open.
Okay, thank you. Lisa with Occupy Sacramento. Glad to be on the call. Thanks. I check.
Thank you, Lisa. Delphine, your microphone is open.
Hi, everyone. Delphine Brody with Occupy Sacramento. Check.
Thanks for that check-in. Gandalf, you're next on Stack. Your microphone is open.
Hello, everyone. Gandalf from Occupy Sacramento. A belated Happy Earth Day to everyone. I yield.
Thanks for that. Earth Day is every day. Happy Earth Day to you, Gandalf. Last on Stack here is Charlotte. I don't know if I've met you yet. Charlotte, if you'd like to check in, let us know where you're from. Your microphone's on.
Yeah, this is Mike and Charlotte. We're from Roseville, Sacramento Occupy. Glad to join you.
All right. There's two people there. It's Mike and Charlotte. If we have to do any voting or anything, we'll work out a way that you can both have your voice heard with one line open. All right. So that is check-ins and welcome and instructions. I'd like to open up the phone call for anybody who has any announcements. This would be something you're working on or something you're stoked about in the movement that you'd like everybody to hear about on this call. If you do want to give an announcement, please press the number 1. And just to be clear, this is just announcements, not report backs. All righty. So, we got Jackie with an announcement. Your microphone is on.
Hi. I just wanted to remind or bring up the subject of bottom liners. It's kind of time now that we should have point people for like each of the subgroups, and a little later on for the days in Sacramento. Like it'll get real crazy and hectic. So if just for example, say Lisa has day 1, Gandalf has day 2, something like that. I also wanted to clarify the term. I'm realizing that a lot of terms that are used by Occupy on the East Coast don't seem to be used on the West Coast or in the islands. I just found out tonight some people didn't know what bottom liner was, and some people don't like that term because it's sort of corporate. But that's what I've heard, from my Occupy experience. It just means the person who keeps an eye on the big picture of, say, your subgroup. Doesn't mean you have to do all the work, but it means you're the person that brings it all together and can report it back, or that, say the speakers group, the presenters group that's putting the schedule together needs to contact the point people. So, if you're doing that for your subgroup, maybe during checkouts or something, people can say so, and if not, on the email list. But I think fairly soon we should make sure every group has a bottom liner. And that's the announcement. Check.
Thanks for that, Jackie. If anybody needs clarification on what she just said, please press the number 2. In the meantime, Lisa has an announcement.
Oh, yes. I want to announce that next Tuesday, Occupy Sacramento will be joining many other Occupies and other groups fighting foreclosure throughout the country for the Home Defenders League is organizing National Days of Action Against Wells Fargo, and it's to coincide with Wells Fargo's annual shareholder meeting in San Antonio. So we'll be doing that next Tuesday. I yield.
All right, thanks for that announcement, Lisa. It's good to hear people are still working on our core issues. All righty, so let's see here. Something I wanted to do. So yeah, if you want to volunteer to bottom line something, let's go with Jackie's idea and do that during checkouts or on the email list. There is one announcement here on the agenda, which is located at natgat2014.titanpad.com/4. The link on the announcements is the spreadsheet for a contact list. This gives us everybody's email addresses and other information that is useful about them. If you would like us to have your information, please go to the agenda and click the link for the Google spreadsheet and add your information there. All right. If there are no more announcements, I'm going to go ahead and get into report backs. So give that a few seconds. And there you have it. So at this point, I think it's on the agenda here that we get a report back from Sacramento first. And I think that's important that we start with our people on the ground. So I know there's at least 4 people from Sacramento on the call. So if you'd like to, any of you'd like to give a report back from what happened at GA or what's happening with venue or anything from Sacramento, we would like to hear a report back. Please press number 1. All right. Let's see here. We got number 1s. They're coming in a little bit late. We've heard from Lisa already for one announcement. Let's start with Gandalf, and we'll go to Lisa. Gandalf, your microphone is open.
Yes, thank you. We had a stormy General Assembly meeting on Saturday. There was a lot of frustration about the fact that a lot of decisions still need to be made and people feeling that we're not moving quickly enough to resolve some of the issues that are before us. I was taking some heat on how I have handled the meeting that we had and the subsequent efforts we've had to pass on what happened in that meeting, and there's been some disagreement about where we should go from here. So anyway, it was a difficult, and I think it shows that people are getting anxious and feeling under pressure and feeling like we need resolution of some of these big issues, and people are looking for quick solutions and maybe tending to blame others when things are not falling together as they were hoping they would. So anyway, it was kind of a rough meeting, and I think it's going to be interesting when we get together for our next General Assembly, see whether things have settled down. And we tend to just report back what's been going on in the NatGat conference calls, because that's the greatest source of information, I think, really, for what's happening. So if anyone else wants to add to that, please do. That's just my perspective. I yield.
Pretty stressful doing any kind of planning like this, and Occupy is full of leaders, and it's, sometimes people get frustrated. But anyway, let's hear what Delphine has to say. Delphine, your microphone is open.
Hi, everyone. I should start by explaining that I was not at the GA on Saturday because I had another engagement that I needed to be at. But I wanted to point out that there were a number of folks who couldn't make it, and some of the conflicts that I heard arose there. I'm in the process of resolving with the various parties, and I'm eager to connect with you later, Gandalf, also to follow up on things. I want to report to the larger group that, in terms of the notes from the original Occupy Sacramento NatGat brainstorming and logistics retreat from March 22nd, I am working on those, and I apologize profusely for the delay. I have handwritten notes that Gandalf took from the original notes, and I'm in the process of typing those up, but I've been delayed by a bunch of electronic and scheduling barriers, so I apologize, but it's not forgotten. Chuck.
Oh, that's great. It's good to hear everybody's working together. A quick quote, what is it? Nature never hurries, but everything is accomplished. Let's see here. I have 2 people on stack, but I wanted to recognize that Brother Carter has joined the call, so we're up to 9 now. So, Brother Carter, hopefully you're available, because I'm going to ask you for a quick check, and your microphone is open.
Hello, everybody. Just listening in. Brother Carter from Occupy Sacramento Urban Outreach. Just listening. Going to be on the call. Check.
All right. Well, thanks. It's really good to hear your voice, Brother Carter. Let's see. We've got Lisa on stack, followed by Jackie. Lisa, your microphone is open.
Okay, thank you. Two things I wanted to report on. Kathy and I went to check out the Riverwalk site and for a possible venue, and it just did not seem like there was enough shade, at least contiguous shade. We'd all have to be kind of spread out from each other under various trees over about two-thirds of a mile. So we're thinking that wouldn't be a good venue. I'm hoping either on this call or perhaps on Lumio or our email list, we can get a feel for whether the empty Gottschalk store at Woodland, people like that idea. The second thing I wanted to report on, and Brother Carter might be able to elaborate on this, is that it sounds like Occupy Sacramento is no longer going to have its WePay account anymore. Brother Carter, if you wanted, I think Linda Roberts told me that. Brother Carter, if you'd like to talk about that, because that'll affect our what we do with our fundraising site. I check.
Alrighty, so let's see, Brother Carter, if you'd like to speak about the WePay account, please press the number 1. In the meantime, we have a direct response from Donna, and Jackie's hanging out on stack. Donna, your microphone is open.
Hi, I just wanted to clarify with Lisa, is this an empty store? Because originally it was described as an empty mall. And secondly, what city was that in, please, to verify, just so I can look up how far it is. I think I remember them saying it was 16 miles from Sacramento. Sorry, just want to keep those facts in mind while we're deciding. I yield.
Absolutely, yes. It's about 16 miles in Sacramento. It is an empty store, a Gottschalk's, but it's a very, very large store. The benefits are it does have electricity, air conditioning, bathrooms. We would either be able to cook there, or Stephen Payen lives very nearby, and he has offered his kitchen as a place that the people could go and cook. So it's a quick 16 miles. You hop on the freeway and go right into Sacramento. So it's about a 25-minute drive. I yield.
All right, you got twinkles from Carrie and myself on that. Brother Carter, you are, I think, going to speak about the WePay. Your microphone is open.
I couldn't answer that question, and here we go again. Linda needs to be on these calls. I can't give reference to what she's done because she hasn't even contacted me, and I'm on the finance committee here. So as far as the WePay account itself, I have no knowledge of it. I've never used a WePay account as long as I've been on the finance committee to even check out. That's something that she has knowledge on. And like I said, we're on the third call here, and she hasn't been on here to reply to that. So I think that I'll talk to her, but Lisa, you need to talk to her also to find out, if these things are, she needs to be on the call to so everybody can know what's going on. Because this is going to be another call that we don't know that, and I don't know it. I definitely don't know it. I know that we do have an account that's set up with the school's credit union, and but other than that, the WePay, I have no knowledge of. Check.
All right. Well, thanks for that. And I'd like to hear more from Linda. I get the emails, but it's not very informative. Jackie, you are the last on stack. I'm opening up your mic. I hope you remember what you wanted to say.
Yes, I do, but actually I might be able to help. It was for something else, but I might be able to address this WePay thing. I did try and put emails out about it. WePay quit doing independent fundraising, I guess, I think almost 2 months ago now. I started seeing emails in the Occupy Sandy list and the New York lists and different places. And if you happen to go to a site that, used to be WePay, like Occupy Sandy, and you click on it, it has a message, something like WePay is no longer doing this. You need to contact the people directly. So I don't think it affects, if you have that going to a credit union, we will still be able to get the funds that are going to be raised through the Alliance for Global Justice to your credit union or to anywhere, because we found out in our talking this week, they don't need the account to set things up. The only time we'll need the account is when you go to get money out. So there's a little time on that, but I think that's what's going on with the WePay. Okay, so my other question was, for Gandalf and the concerns of, I agree with Chaz, things get crazy and stressful, so just know you're not alone in the world. It's like that for everybody. But are there things that we can start to move quicker? What are the concerns that aren't moving fast enough? I guess I didn't understand if they're internal or if they're things we're not doing and need to start moving along on. Check.
That's a great question, Jackie. I'm going to open up your mic, Gandalf, to respond to that, and then Lisa has a direct response. So we'll go Gandalf and Lisa.
Yeah, this is Gandalf. I think the preeminent issue that's coming up is about the venue. One thing that was brought up was that Woodland Community College apparently was receptive to the idea of us having our NatGat meeting there. There was some question about how expensive it would be, but we didn't really get full knowledge of just how far we've gone towards working with the community college there in Woodland. But I think it's basically just nailing down. There's also the concern about the fiscal sponsorship and some talk about that there was no real money-raising capacity to fiscal sponsorship. It's just somebody managing your money. We have to come up with our own techniques for actually getting money into our accounts. And anyway, there was just nothing seemed to be resolved, and there was a lot of heat about coming up with some decisions. And I can understand the problem. I yield.
Yep, that does make sense, Gandalf. Lisa, maybe you can help clarify some things with your direct response. Your microphone is on.
Oh, actually, as far as the Woodland Mall, I'm sorry, the Woodland Community College, I will contact Stephen Payan about that. He's been giving me info about the store in the mall, but I will get back to him about the community college and I want to put it out on whatever mechanism we decide, Lumio, etc., and really let folks decide, what are the priorities, what they like best for the venue. So I yield.
Thanks for that, Lisa. And I just saw your thing in the staff chat. I will try to pay more attention. Let's see, we've got 10 people on the call now. That's due to the inclusion of Robert. Robert, I'm going to open up your mic if you'd like to do a quick check-in and any announcements you might have about what's been going on. Your microphone is open.
Hi, this is Robert Cruz, Occupy Reading, Occupy Facebook, Occupy California page, admin. I've just been posting like mad, the one poster, the pages and people in groups still. I'm getting lots of response back from the post, people liking it, sharing it. Yeah.
That's great news. I have seen your posts, and you are a very diligent and very hard worker when it comes to spreading the word. So thanks for joining the call. We're up to 10 now, that's getting toward decision-making stuff. So let's see here. I'm going to count that as report backs from Sacramento and finance, because we've heard a lot of that. If anybody wants to do a report back on outreach, now is a good time. If you'd like to do a report back on outreach, please press the number 1. All right, I don't see our normal outreach people on here anyway. So if anybody has a report back from media, we will do that. Jackie, I'm not sure when your 1 came up, but I'll just let you do that. I think you might be doing an outreach report back, so your microphone's on.
Okay, yeah, it was for outreach, which Robert reminded me. We did do an outreach party yesterday. It was sort of impromptu. I was on there, and just whoever else on in outreach was on Facebook, and we knocked out quite a few. I don't know how many. I got 25 done. It takes a while. For folks that don't know, we're one by one going through a spreadsheet from last year that had all the active Facebook Occupy pages and groups. So that's moving along. I'm not sure about any other outreach, but we did that. And I think we're having another one tomorrow, and we're going to try and have these weekly. People seem to like to work better when, 5 other people are doing it at the same time. Check.
That's great. That's great to hear about the parties starting up early this year. So let's see. Carrie, you had the one up. I believe that might be a report back from media. Correct me if I'm wrong. Your microphone is on.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, I'm just going to say ditto what Jackie just said. Jack.
Well, good. It's redundancy is good. Let's see here. The next on the list would be the workshops and programs. There's a lot of discussion going on the email threads, and people are, I don't know if there's confusion but basically I know a lot of people want to give workshops or speak or come to the national gathering. But the working group, I don't know if we've heard much from the working group that's contacting people or whatever. So it would be really cool if somebody is on that working group and wants to give a report back about the workshops and the program. So if you are that person, please press the number 1. I will open your mic. All right, so that is something that we will definitely try to work out through the email lists. And I don't know, it's Donna, you've got a one up. Let's see what you've got to say about that.
Hi, yeah, thanks, Chaz. I was waiting for someone else to push one first because I'm actually very close to being completely moved, but I have been keeping up with the discussion. So just for everyone listening, it appears to me that the report that I would give just from observation alone, and hopefully I'll be able to get more meet up with people and figure out things in person. But the thing that I see so far is that we need to really have an interface with all streets and just involving what they have ideas for like any kind of art or programming or any kind of activities. Then we need to have some kind of list prepared, like a spreadsheet, of potential workshops and the potential days they could be held on. Also, the issue of theme days would still need to be coordinated. And I know All Streets was working on that idea of the 4 elements, which I really like because we can fit pretty much all of our issues into a day, something like that. But then this is kind of like something that's going to take a lot of coordination. I don't see a lot of coordination happening right now on the email threads. I see people giving ideas, and that's great. I would like to be able to, at some point, create a cohesive framework, a shell, that we can obviously evolve and change as we go, but something to start off with that's a container basically for the event so that we can start putting things up in potential places, because that will give us all some type of reassurance that things are happening, that this has a spot and there's a time and there's a day. And as we start filling those things in, I think it'll give all of us a better idea of how much we really are accomplishing. I know many people are working in the background getting speakers, but we also do need to know what the basic framework is for the events, which we definitely need to for the days, and for when we're going to sleep, when we're going to eat. Well, I guess not when we're going to sleep, but when we're going to eat and when we're going to have GAs, because all of those things are going to affect any types of speakers we get and activities. I know there was some discussion regarding possibly having a time during the hottest part of the day where we did not have a lot of activities in the sun, so that's definitely an issue. I do know that a member from Occupy Orlando and I have been working on possibly putting a workshop together for the 13th Amendment, and we were able to get the definitive researcher who actually found out about this and has been working on it for 30 years, and he's very interested in coming to NatGat. And I'm talking about this man's work is starting to be, Michigan has now incorporated his work in their Constitutional Congress demand, number 6, reinstate the missing 13th Amendment. New Hampshire last year tried to push the original 13th Amendment through Congress. So this is a huge topic, and ironically, the missing 13th Amendment would provide us the one nonviolent, peaceful, legal tool for dealing with Congress. There's a lot of noise in the background. Thank you.
It was cutting out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know that I mentioned that about the missing 13th Amendment, the original 13th Amendment, just because I want to illustrate my own passion for not even knowing whether something like this is going to happen and then being able to pull it off. So I know other people are going to be very excited about pulling together speakers and workshops, and we need to have more information so we can find out if people can come on the days when we have time available. Because if other people get involved, we really need to start developing that framework. So in terms of a report, so to speak, I would just suggest that we start creating a container. And so maybe we do need to interface, I guess, with All Streets about their idea for the themes. And then, of course, people have brought up, are we even finalized with the themes or the sub-themes?
Right. That's yeah. You bring up a lot of really good points there, and there's a couple direct responses. We're going to go in order with Jackie, followed by Lisa, and followed by me. Jackie, your microphone is on.
Yeah. Thanks for all those good points. I did want to respond. We do have a spreadsheet for a schedule and one for volunteers. It's just been so busy the last couple of weeks that the speakers group hasn't really gotten it together to be definitive and get stuff out to you guys. But since there's so many Occupy Sacramento people on the call, my suggestion with the spreadsheet, I made a spreadsheet with a basic template of all the times from 8 in the morning till like 10 at night, kind of based. We did it last year, and what we need to do first before we decide what we really found this formula that we didn't use last year would work better. We need to decide on a few basics on this call, and then, whoever's handling the scheduling and that can start plugging people into the activities. But the basics we need to decide on this call, not tonight, I mean on this call, like we can put it out this week and start talking about it, are the time we start, the time we eat, the time we have a GA, or if we're going to eat twice or 3 times. And then once you have those in, then we start to fill in the activity times. Last year we found that each bottom liner, back to bottom liners for the different days, a couple of people worked independently and they had total different schedules, which screwed up the cooks from trying to get meals to people. And so that was a mess. So that's my suggestion for the first. And the way the spreadsheet is set up, it's a big, I've sent it out before, I'm pretty sure, but I'll do it again this week. It's a big template on top with little columns underneath for each group to put in their suggestions. So like the All Street suggestions that were put way back in February, I've got those in there. There's only like 4 or 5 things, yoga at 10 and activities, some other time. I'd love to see what OCSAC thinks first and have them put a schedule in there, and then for us all to get together and hammer out those basic things. Then the next step is, when can you plug people in? Okay, so number 2 about volunteers, like Donna, if you have a man who wants to speak, and I guess I don't know how all these lines gotten crossed, but I think that anybody who wants to do a presentation, that we should say, okay, when are you available? What days are good for you? How much time do you need? Do you need indoors? Do you need outdoors? Do you need electronics? Things like that. And then we'll take it to our group and we'll see what we can do. But you give them the option first for what they want, and then we see if we can put it all together. And I think that's all I got about that right now. Check.
All right. Thanks for that, Jackie. You got twinkles from Donna on part 1, twinkles from me on part 2. And now we're back to Lisa with your direct response. Your microphone's on.
Okay, Thank you, Jackie. You've actually cleared up a lot of things. First, I really think it's imperative I'm on this work group to have a conference call, and I'd be happy to email with you after this call and see about setting this up. Secondly, we do need to have some sort of, or do we need to have some sort of guidelines? I mean, can anybody ask anyone they want to speak, or because I think a lot of people, myself included, have hesitated to reach out and ask people to come and speak or perform because we don't know are we going to have? Do we have too many of this type of musician or this type of speaker? And so I think we need to get together as a group and kind of come up with some guidelines. How many speakers do we want per day? How do we want to divide things up? And then start soliciting from other people within the NatGat planning group, perhaps, and for ideas, because I bet a lot of people have ideas and contacts for performers. I check.
All right. Well, thanks for that, Lisa. We have a direct response coming up from Donna. I do want to recognize Nikki from Palm Springs has joined the call, and someone I'm not sure dropped out. Sorry, they are not here anymore. But Nikki, if you have a second to check in, I'm going to turn on your microphone. So get ready. Here you go.
Hi, everyone. Just checking in. Sorry I'm a little bit late. Forgot the new time. Over.
Thanks for that. I was actually surprised more people didn't forget, so it's great. We're glad you made it. You haven't missed too much yet, and with that, I just want to remind everybody we are 38 minutes into the call, and we're almost done with report backs, so it's good. We've touched on some of the old business and some of the tabled items during report backs. So with that said, try to limit your responses to 2 minutes or less for report backs, direct responses, maybe a minute or so, and with that in mind, Donna, your microphone is on.
Hi, yeah, this is a direct response to Lisa. Lisa, totally understanding, this thing about the speakers. My concern is that we have 3 months till the event, and people need to plan. And, like, for instance, I've just been asking people and telling them I don't know when, but can you do this? And, for instance, now Captain Ray, who is always at major Occupy events, is not able to come now. Now that I guess the date has been set, but I just want to make sure I'm at least telling people that could consider coming, and possibly even just being there, much less speaking or presenting or holding a workshop, just because I'm fearful that they won't have enough time to make travel plans. So if anybody's jumped the gun, I certainly apologize, but I'd rather be ahead of things than be too late. So I yield. Thank you.
No, that's a very good point. You got twinkles from me and Lisa on that one. Not about the fact that Captain Ray can't make it, I'm sure. So let's see here. I'm going to put everybody's hands down. All 11 of us are back. Whoever left, welcome back. Let's see here. Is there anyone else who would like to do a report back? We were kind of closing on the end of report back time. So if there's a group doing work out there and you really like to tell us what you've done, please put the number 1 up. If not, we're going to move on to old business, which is a discussion. So this should be a fun part of the call. All right, Nikki, it's good to see your hand up. You've got a report back. What is it?
I'm just double checking that the media outreach have already given the report back about the process for creating official stuff.
Maybe just speak a little bit about it. There was a report back, but I haven't heard of what you're talking about.
Okay. We had a media outreach thing, and we came up with a process whereby to have what is considered official national gathering, things like press releases and things of that nature. The agreement was that all the work, all the official, what will be considered official, will be done on the Titan pad. And then there's a 20 or 48-hour voting period on Lumio, and then the final product brought to this call for, I believe, final consent. If I've misspoken in any ways, I apologize, but I believe that's the understanding. Over.
You know what? That was really clear and informative. You got lots of twinkles lighting up the board right now. So that said, I didn't see any other ones on report back, so unless there is an objection, I'm going to move on to old business because this is the perfect segue. If anybody would like to object, press the number 3. We'll give that a few seconds. And there you have it. Oh, we got a direct response, so that trumps it. Jackie, what have you got?
Can we hold up on Lumio until Tricia makes the call, which is 7:45? Maybe we can start. I don't know what else we can start on.
Yes.
Jack.
Absolutely. Let's see here. We have tabled items, and it's also a good segue. So let's read the first one here on the agenda. Can we start a possible list of speakers, presenters, workshops, etc., so we can vote on who we want to have in NatGat? Should we have a procedure if someone submits a name that they are initially responsible for contacting the person? So let's see here. We put everybody's hands down. Lisa, that was your agenda item, so if you'd like to say anything about it, please press the number 1. If anybody wants to talk about, what kind of process we should have for deciding on speakers, I know we brought up some in our discussion so far. Just press the number 1 and you will be on stack. All right, Lisa, your microphone is on.
Okay, thank you. I think the idea was supposed to be to table this until the speakers group have met. However, if people want to make comments on it now, I think that would be great. I check.
Okay, yeah, it's almost sounding like we're having a miniature speakers working group meeting on this call, but it needs to happen. So, not seeing anybody with a 1 up. You got some twinkles from Jackie. Let's see. So are all these items on the agenda tabled until the group meets? I guess so, huh? So that's not really part of this agenda. Let's see. Let's go with Jackie real quick.
As far as this, there is sort of a process, and I guess things haven't really been clear. There's 2 places that people can let us know that they want to do a teach-in or Skillshare or be a speaker. One, you can write to an email list, which is natgat2014@interoccupy.net, and the other place is the volunteer form, which is an odd place because, I don't know, just terminology, volunteers. The idea for the tech folks way back was we were going to get a different form on the website, but the website seems to be installed right now. But if you look at the volunteer form, which is on the NatGat Hub, a big button that says volunteer, and you go to it, there's a whole bunch of questions of volunteering on the ground, helping with logistics, but at the very bottom is, do you want to do an activity, and what is the activity? If people fill that form out, I'm putting them right up on this spreadsheet, and then I guess that's the part where we're kind of hung up. The original idea was outreach would be outreaching to them. That's part of the work All Streets has done, and part of the confusion, because they sent letters out to the people who would send the email. But we're trying to kill all that stuff. So the point is, there's 2 places you can send people that want to do activities: the email and the volunteer form. Check.
That's great. That's good to know. We do have that in place, and I guess I didn't scroll the whole way down to the bottom to see it. Let's see. We got a direct response from Lisa, followed by a direct response from Donna. Lisa, your microphone's open.
Okay, great. Jackie, would you be willing to send out an email to the NatGat list, just telling people, hey, if you have ideas for speakers, performers, let us know, and here's how to do it. I check.
All right, she gave you twinkles there. That sounds like an affirmative. Donna, your direct response is ready to go.
I just had a question regarding outreach being done by All Streets in terms of contacting the speakers. To me, that doesn't really make sense. I'm not sure why that would be the process. I would just think that outreach is more for like the public and our allies, letting them know about the NatGat and getting as many people there as possible. But being responsible for contacting the speakers doesn't seem like outreach to me. I could be missing something, but I would suggest, just in my opinion, it would seem that whoever is contacting with and or knows speakers, I think that those people should be basically in the point person for those speakers. I would think that would help divide up the work, not put too much pressure on anybody to have to keep trying to contact these people and wondering about that. I think that maybe if there's a hub where everyone could collect the information regarding, like maybe just a checklist. This person has been contacted. This person has confirmed. Here is the person's contact information. They know they are going to be here on this day at this time. Their plans are, their travel plans are set to make sure that, we've got all the speakers. But I think that for one person to do that or one group to do that, it seems like a bit much. So I would just suggest that the people that make suggestions could field those things on their own. Just an idea. I yield. Thank you.
Right, and I think that's sort of that's how the other subgroup for the workshops and speakers was forming, just because it was, we didn't want outreach to get bogged down with that. You got lots of twinkles there, me, Jackie, Carrie, and Lisa twinkled for you, Donna, and we've got a direct response from Jackie.
Yeah, sorry again to always be talking so much. I guess I've got this info. I just wanted to address a couple of those. Yes, it was very strange for All Streets to be contacting these people. That was one of the reasons we all, scurried together back when three weeks ago or so, trying to contact them. Because I know a lot of you aren't on the email list all the time. There was a speakers and volunteer activity list spreadsheet that I had set up for like a month, and it got trashed. All Streets went on it by cell phone, and I guess it's not a Google. It was a May 1st, like an open source spreadsheet. And at any rate, everything disappeared. But luckily, there was only about 8 names on there, and I was able to go back through emails and retrieve them. But there is such a place, Donna, and it has like 3 columns: who contacted initially, who does follow-up, and then another column for a week to 2 weeks before the event, because we found out last year, for instance, Captain Ray arrived, and nobody had told him that our venue had changed. Of course, it didn't change until we were on the ground, and then everybody's scrambling, and it just, got forgotten. So this year we'll definitely have a spot on that list and go through, recontact everybody a week or 2 out and reconfirm. So that's one thing. Oh, and one other thing. The reason All Streets did that, early on, we're all getting together and we don't know each other well, and who's volunteers to take care of the public-facing email list was Mary, who was one of the All Streets people, which I thought was great. But I didn't know that was, then she used it and was contacting everyone. So that's part of, the speakers group. And the only other thing I want to say is outreach, as far as I know, like in Interact and OWS, does handle volunteers, speakers, and stuff like that, like a person or 2 in there. So we'll still work that out, whether it's the speakers group or the outreach group. But we do have some docs in place. Check.
All right, thanks for that, Jackie. We have a direct response from Lisa. Lisa, your microphone is on.
Thank you. Jackie, I'm giving you a run for your money with speaking a lot. Jackie, wasn't Cal supposed to have a letter for us this week to All Streets? That sounds quite important to addressing some of these issues. I check.
Jackie, your microphone is on if you'd like to respond. Jackie, if you'd like to respond, please press number 2. Lisa, you got twinkles from Carrie on what you just said. And let's see, I wanted to say, so there's a guy on Facebook named Justin Stone Diaz, and he seems to know what All Streets is about. So maybe he's our communication now. That said, it seems like lots of people want to contact speakers, and I say use your best judgment and do it autonomously, because we do, as Donna pointed out, have 3 months left. Let's see, Lisa, you have no, that was your direct response. So putting the hands back down, we are discussing workshops and speakers, which is actually part of the new business. We're saving old business for another 25 minutes. Oh, hey, Cal, you're on the call, so I'm going to open up your mic, ask for a check-in and announcement, and maybe you want to answer Lisa's question. Your microphone is open.
Hey there, can you hear me okay? I'm not on my headset.
You're doing great.
Okay, thanks. So I don't know what item you're on. I just heard the word workshops and speakers, so if you're doing that report back, maybe it's good timing. I'll be on and off this call tonight, depending on what we're doing. Probably stick around until we have the Lumio conversation, and maybe I'll leave after that. We'll see. So I guess I want to find out if we're at where are we at in the call? If we're at the workshop and speakers report back, then I'll speak. Check.
We had just finished report backs, but I didn't get one from that working group, so it's a good time as any. Let's do it. Let's try to keep it under 2 minutes or 3 minutes if you can.
Probably be under 1 minute. So we haven't actually made a decision yet, but I think we seem to be leaning towards not having calls because we can't find a time that actually works even for like 3 or 4 people. So we're actually starting to have the conversations online. At this point, we're getting ourselves organized. We're getting our role defined. We're starting to we'll talk about getting our role defined, and we're also talking about how we want to organize the speakers and organize the day plans and all of that. So I imagine that a week from now we'll have a lot more clarity about most of that stuff by now. If there's any questions, that would be great, but otherwise I think we'll have a more full report back on next week's call. Check.
All right, thanks for that report back. We do have a direct response from Donna.
I just wanted to. Oh, sorry. I want to verify. I'm not aware of any of these conversations going on. Cal, can you please? I mean, I'm on this committee, but I might just be missing them. Are they email, or am I just? I'm not really all the way fully hooked up to Lumio yet, so I just want to make sure I'm not missing out on the conversation. Thank you. I yield.
All right, Cal, I've opened up your microphone. Yep.
Yeah. So as far as I know, Donna and Jackie can verify this. As far as I know, you are on the workshops and speakers, and whatever it's called, speakers and program list, which means that you should be receiving the email threads. Mostly they've been started by Jackie. She's been throwing out questions, and we've been starting to chew on those questions, and I'll be joining in that discussion shortly as well. So you should be receiving and able to participate in all those email discussions, Donna. You can check with Jackie just to verify that, probably offline. But as far as I know, I mean, you were one of the people whose names I delivered to her to add to the list, so, and I'm pretty sure you're on it. Check.
All right, thanks for that, Cal. We have a direct response from Lisa. There were twinkles from Jackie on what you said.
Cal, I would like to make another stab at getting a conference call, because I found without the conference call, the information that's coming over email is just very disjointed. We need to come up with overall structures and ideas and plans, and I'd be very happy to send out another doodle poll and maybe open up some additional times that weren't opened up to see if we could get at least an hour conference call, if that would work for you and the other members. I yield.
Thanks for that, Lisa. You got twinkles from Donna, Jackie, Nikki, and myself on that. Let's see, there's a direct response from Gandalf, followed by a direct response from Cal. Gandalf, your microphone is on.
Yes, I just want to make sure that everyone in Occupy feels that they've had an opportunity to bring up speakers that they'd like to hear from. I'm just not sure that there's a mechanism that's inviting ideas on speakers and sifting through them and communicating with people. I think it's very important who those speakers are, and it's very important that people feel that they had some input on who this group of speakers are. I'm personally, I'm hoping that we can open it up and make sure that everyone can be heard on this issue of who's going to be speaking for us at the NatCap. Okay, I yield.
Very good, Gandalf. You got twinkles from Carrie, myself, and Nikki on what you just said, and I think maybe now's a good time for me to just pop in something there. It's to me, I think it's our job is to get the people there, and if speakers want to come speak, then they can come. But that's just my 2 cents. Cal, you had a direct response. Your microphone is open.
Sure, I'll respond to pretty much everything everybody said. I will say that, Lisa, I'm definitely game for trying to find another time with a call. I think you have to start by gathering, Jackie's and my availability, because if you start with time ranges, for me, for example, nothing works before a certain time in the afternoon on any day, any weekday. So as long as you start out gathering do a pre-processing step, then you can put out a doodle. I mean, that's what I did essentially. I took what I knew we knew that at least the main people who had to be on the call could do, and because if they can't be on the call, we can't have a call. So, and then we just couldn't find a time between those calls. I think also what happened is somebody tried to be helpful and tried to streamline that process before everybody weighed in, which I wasn't crazy about. I'd rather gather, the input from everybody before we try to narrow it down to 1 or 2 times. So that was it got nipped in the bud, I think, a little too prematurely before we got enough critical input. But yes, Lisa, let's have an email exchange about it. And yes, I absolutely support the idea of another go-round to do this. And if you want to take the lead on that, that's great. As far as the speakers, I think that one of the early things that this subgroup will have to figure out is how we gather input from what people want in terms of speakers and presenters. And then I think we have to also work with All Streets, because All Streets seems to be the ones who wanted to contact and make provisions for some of those folks as well. So there's a coordination matter that has to be sorted out as well. We don't want to step on their toes. At the same time, we have to make sure we're clear about what our role is as well. And the last thing is that there's been discussions on the emails for this group, the NG 2014 group, about moving away from last year's model of having a bunch of speakers and, talking heads, and actually crowdsourcing our wisdom so that we have more and more sessions where we're bringing the wisdom of what we in Occupy know, rather than going out to a them that's outside of Occupy to come and speak. As it's fine to have experts occasionally join the conversation, but my sense is that people actually wanted this to be a lot more Occupy-like this year than it was last year, more like the first year. Check.
Thanks for that, Cal. You got some twinkles from myself, Nikki, and Gandalf on what you just said, and a direct response coming from Lisa. Your microphone is on.
Oh, hi, Cal. Did you write the letter to All Streets? I check.
There you go, Cal. Your microphone is on.
I did write the letter, and then after I wrote it, there was another set of things that was communicated a few days ago. I think it was from Jackie. I'm not sure who sent it. And I think a rewrite is involved before I unleashed it. It was a little, for my money, probably a little heavy-handed, given that they turned out to actually have more transparency than we thought. We were kind of, there were a lot of people upset on last week's or the weeks before's call about that. And I think I want to find a way to frame it in a way that's more inviting and to help them plug into what this group is going to do rather than off-putting. And so I'm going to rewrite that draft and send it to those people who said they wanted to work on the draft, and then we'll have a collaborative creative session on it. Check.
All right. Thanks for that information, Cal. Let's see here. We've got twinkles from Lisa. Let's see. We have pretty much gone through the old business except for Lumio and the report backs. So if anybody is against moving on to the new business section of the agenda, we are 1 hour into the call. So just put the number 1 up and you can say something about the old business that's not Lumio related. We got 15 minutes before that starts. Donna, your hand is up. Your microphone is on.
Hi, yeah, I just wanted to remind you, I was in the other room when you read the agenda, and last week I had put to discuss Occupy the Musical, which was not discussed. So does that make it old business, or do we add it to the new agenda? I yield.
That is the 5th item under new business, and 2 of the items on new business are pretty much the same. So, yeah, it's on new business. We can get to it soon. Check.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so with that done. We've got an open stack and new business. So I'm just going to read off of the agenda here something from Zoe Aliff. She is in Orlando, I believe, and not on the call. I'm going to give it a little creative change. Anyway, so what it says is a proposal for discussion panels, workshops on the internet. Last year she tried to have a discussion panel on TinyChat. It didn't work. Google Hangouts has improved over the last year, and it works real well, she says. Would it be possible to have discussion panels, workshops online as part of NatGat? Could we open it up for anyone to submit online discussion panels and workshops? We could get people from all over the world to be on discussion panels and workshops. Is it a good idea? Are there any barriers, any suggestions? And it seems she's phrasing this as a proposal. I know I've heard from Dee Shanger in Toronto, and he is very interested in using his Occupy Toronto TV to get a live stream feed from the gathering and then send that out to his worldwide live stream network. So let's see here. We've got Jackie with a hand up, so I'm going to open up your mic. Jackie, your microphone is open.
This is a great idea. Zoe put it up there. I did answer on Facebook. I think each year NatGat has tried to have as much online participation as they could, besides like your regular live streaming. The first year, Occupy Cafe had a way that people could, get involved with that visioning statement, but it was actually separate from what people did on the ground in the park. Last year, we combined media and global outreach, and we had like a big 3-hour transnational call with a lot of people in Europe that had been meeting monthly, having these transnational calls. And we also had, we probably already have mentioned this, we had a lot of things set up, like people from Occupy Sandy were going to talk however they wanted to, whether it was going to be Skype, Google Hangout, etc. And then the internet problems we had kind of trashed the whole thing. We did have a big meeting, and then there was a couple of other little things. But I think this is excellent. I think it's something that we should be striving for. In my view, Occupy has always tried to marry the tech with getting people together. So I would definitely be in on this. I would love to help, that's the thing. We need to form a team. And I don't think it's just media. It needs to be like people to form a whole structure of an online day. So that's my 2 cents. Check.
All right. Thanks for that insight, Jackie. We have someone join the call. I would like to find their name. It seems they have dropped off. It's Sally. Sally, if you'd like to do a check-in and announcements or anything you have, I'm going to open up your microphone. Are you available?
Yeah, hi. I'm actually here at my parents' house. I just got back from giving out books for World Book Night, and it was absolutely great fun. We walked around the trailer parks and handed out books, and then we went to the local Family Success Center and gave them the leftovers for their classes, and yay. Check.
All right. Thanks for that check-in, Sally. It's good to hear your voice, and I'm glad to hear you're keeping up the good work. We are on new business in the agenda, and we were just discussing how we're going to communicate with the world via the internet from Sacramento. So I know you like communicating with the world, so that's where we're at. We've got twinkles from Jackie that you're on the call. So if nobody else is going to stack up on, I just put everybody's hands down, and I think I might have put somebody's hand down that wanted to speak. If anybody else wants to talk about Zoe's proposal, she did mention that Google Hangouts are great, and I put on to the new business that everybody should be using Google Hangouts. You can see the people you're talking to. It's really amazing. You can have like 11 people. It's like Star Trek. So that said, we've got some hands up. We're going to go to Nikki, followed by Carrie. Nikki, your microphone is on.
Oh, shoot. I hate when that happens. No, a siren just went off right in front of my house. So I'm going to take a deep breath real quick. You said something, and if you could repeat what you said about the digital, it was before before you put the hands down, you said something critical. I wish I had a rewind button. It's so important. It is so critical that what is on the ground and what is brought together on the internet. We need to really think about that on every level of our everyday lives. Sally, thank you for joining the call, and that's what it was all about. I wanted to clarify, because Sally really she had a real clear vision of the proposal, how to make the official thing, and using the TitanPad and using Lumio, and then having this call be the decider after, in addition to those two things. And I really would love for her to describe what that means, because anything digital, that's what you're talking about in whatever this proposal is that this woman has given. I don't know her. I don't know anything about it. But those were my thoughts, and I'm sorry if I just derailed us completely. Over.
No, that's no derailment at all. Zoe is a live streamer from Orlando. She's been active in the movement for a while. She was on a call maybe 2 weeks ago, and yeah, I was just reading what she put on here. We are venturing slowly into Cal's doing stuff. We're venturing slowly into a Lumio discussion, which we wanted to wait for 7 more minutes till we can get Tricia on the call. So if we can limit our comments about Lumio for 7 minutes, that would be great. That said, Carrie March, your hand is up and your microphone is on.
Okay, well, I wanted to bring it back to Zoe's proposal, because it sounds like we have a proposal that we're being asked to make a decision on. And that goes back to the beginning of the call and Gandalf's report back that Sacramento is frustrated with us for not making decisions about things. So to me, this is a slam dunk, clear, we have to do this. What's to discuss? We have to make a decision on this, and we have to put it in place. So let's do that, and then let's assign it to the media team, because that's the obvious home for this, proposal / working group, whatever. But we have to move on this. And it also goes back to me, because I didn't get called on during the venue discussion before. Quickly, we were talking about places that don't have shade. We can put up tents, and that would be fine, canopies, and that would work. But I really like the mall idea, and it also solves the energy problem that we're going to need to make this proposal actually fly. We need many, many outlets, and if possible, a strong hotspot connection and all those things. And I think a lot of the people that have been involved with the planning since NatGap 1 and 2, bless your hearts for staying on, through the long haul of this. But I think you all that were there have a very rosy idea of what actually happened on the ground, because it didn't translate out to the internet like Nikki, I think it was Nikki that just said. So I think it's very important that we make a decision today on this. Not everybody can be on these calls. And so we just need to move on.
All right, Carrie, thanks for that. Let's see. Yeah, I've got 5 up from Cal, so we'll hear from him. You got twinkles from Gandalf and Nikki on what you just said there, Carrie. And sorry if I missed calling you on the venue topic. So anyway, Cal, your microphone is going up. Thank you for waiting.
Well, actually now it doesn't matter as much. What I was going to suggest was we had been explicitly asked to hold off onto this item until 7:45. And already from the first share we were getting people confused. So I was going to suggest we put in one of the shorter items and just handle a piece of new business to move on while we were waiting. But now that Tricia's actually here, we don't have to wait anymore. Check.
Okay, I think I may have been confused about the difference between Lumio and Google Hangouts. So sorry about that. Let's see, we have 2 new people, maybe more on the call. Let's check in with C first. C, I'm going to turn on your microphone if you'd like to check in. Tell us who you are and while you're on the call, that would be great. Thanks. Your microphone is open.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm from Sacramento. We're working real hard. So I'm just checking in, see what's going on, and I'm sure I'll have something to say eventually. Thanks for the good work, everybody. Thanks for the good work. Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks for that check. Oh, go ahead. Thanks for that check-in, C. Let's see here. We've got Daniel Hong has joined the call. So, Daniel, I'm going to open up your mic if you'd like to give a check-in and any short announcements you may have.
Yeah. Hey, guys. It's Daniel from Portland. Really kind of stressing out right now. I have a lot of things to do for my final 2 weeks of classes, and then I have reading week and then finals. So school year's ending and everything's kind of blowing up on my face. So I have not been able to engage as much as I wanted to. That said, I did write some several press releases, some drafts that I added on the NatGat pads, on Lumio, on Facebook, and on email. Yeah, that's well, I've got some thumbs up for that. And I am said and promised that I would make drafts for a crowdfunding campaign, most likely Indiegogo, for the caravan for the West Coast to raise funds. So I'll do that by this weekend. And also, I would like to receive training finally. Cal, you'll hate me for this. to get training so I could be a facilitator or a note taker or a call moderator, whoever, so that once school is out, I can further invest myself into these calls. I can start earlier and later and be invested. Check.
All right. Thanks for that check-in, Daniel. Good to hear your voice as always. Let's see. We've got two more new people to hear from. We're going to end with Tricia because I know you're the first one back on. But anyway, we're going to open Julia Clark's microphone. If you'd like to check in, your microphone is open.
Hi, I'm calling in from Occupy Savannah, Occupy Georgia, and in the southeast region. It's been a busy week here. I've been helping a small community address a nuisance property. So I've been tied up in courts and writing court papers. I spent some time with the media group on the phone call for that Saturday, I believe. It was a great conference, and talked about doing the press releases, and they are awesome. Check.
All right, now I remember who you are, Julia. Good to hear your voice, and thanks for joining the call. Real quick, we only got one person on stack, and then we're going to move to Tricia to get a check-in from her and go ahead to start talking about an item on the agenda. Carrie, you're on stack, and your microphone is open.
Oh, sorry, that was probably from before. I'm good. Check.
Oh, sorry about that. All right, Tricia, good to have you on the call. Your microphone's open if you'd like to check in and have any announcements.
Yeah, here I'm checking in from Nicetown, Philadelphia on my commute home. It's great to hear everybody's voices, great to hear people from Sacramento, and the media group has been working hard on trying to make images and videos, and we're getting a lot of good response. I think it was really good for us to keep placeholding here because the message is getting out. So that's real good. Check.
All right, thanks for that check-in, Tricia. You got twinkles from Robert and Donna on that. So let's see here. We have made it through report backs. We've had some discussion about the workshops and speakers subgroup. But what I'd like to get to is the old business of Lumio, having a discussion about it on this phone call. So if there's any objection to that, please press the number 1, and we'll open up your microphone. Cal, your microphone is on.
I'm sorry, I pressed it before you said the word objection. So I just wanted to follow on. Daniel mentioned something about the Maestro training, and I'll just put it out there early this time. We usually do the Maestro trainings on the second Tuesdays of the month, so currently it's scheduled for the second Tuesday in May, 5 o'clock West Coast time, 8 o'clock East Coast time. So if you're interested in being trained on Maestro because you want to be a technical assistant and become a facilitator for these calls, please sign up for that training. You go to the InterOccupy site, and I think it's the last menu item in the nav bar at the top says as an item like Learn Maestro or something, and it tells you how to register for the call. So we definitely can use more facilitators. Right now there's only 4 of us who are doing 4 or 5 of us who are doing it in any kind of regular rotation, but let's spread the wealth around. Check.
All right, thanks for that, Kyle. You got twinkles from Nikki. Nobody else is jumping on Stack, so I'm just going to read this agenda item and open up the Stack for discussion. It's about Lumio. It's old business, and we're thinking of using it for NatGat working group decisions, preliminary discussions, tentative decisions to be confirmed by discussion on the weekly calls. It could be one of many organizing tools we use to discuss and inform ourselves moving forward in organizing this event. Let's see here. We got a direct response from Gandalf. Gandalf, what have you got?
Well, there was 2 things. I was wondering if the reason I put down a 4 is because I was wondering does someone have a press release that they can actually read? I hear the people referring to them as though they're already accomplished, and I wondered if there's anything that can be read to us on the call. Moving over to Lumio, I just wanted to say that one of the things that we accomplished at our Saturday NatGat planning meeting was that we were fully behind the idea of Lumio. We wanted to have an experimental period where we could try it out and see how it works as far as being able to make notes and so on. It sounded very attractive, and we are very interested in trying it out. So I yield.
All right, thanks for that, Gandalf. We have a direct response from Sally. It might be in reference to the press release. Let's find out. Sally, your mic is open.
Yes, it started out to be about the press release, but I also have a Lumio comment. The press release has been available on the TitanPad. Oh, crap, I just joined the wrong TitanPad. TitanPad number, I think it was 48 or I think it was 48. I'll double check that as I talk. And I believe that was posted to the list. We also have been experimenting with Lumio. I am feeling really bad that somebody is on this call and has been participating and somehow hasn't gotten, apparently, the notice of, join Lumio, ask to join the group, and you'll be put on. Because, God, I was hoping everybody had that by now. And so I'm a little frustrated at that. But the important thing, yes, it is TitanPad 48 for the press release. And yes, jump into the Lumio ASAP because it's looking pretty cool for a preliminary way to narrow down decisions. Check.
Thanks for that, Sally. We've got a direct response from Jackie, and just so you know, you got some twinkle fingers on what you said there.
I sent everyone on the email list an invitation to the Occupy National Gathering group on Lumio. It was probably 2 weeks ago or so. And if you have too many emails and it's lost, just get a hold of one of us, or you can go join up to Lumio and then search for Occupy National Gathering group, and then you click a button, ask to join. But it should be in the email of everybody, at least on this call. I think 50 people are on our email list, and everyone an invitation. Check.
All right, thanks for that, Jackie. And I just, for Gandalf about the press release, just so we can get that all cleared up, it's natgat2014.titanpad.com/48. So that's where anybody who wants to find the press release draft, you can find it there. Daniel Hong, you had a direct response at some point, so I'm going to open up your mic.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify about the press release. Yeah, I've pretty much written like a solid like introduction. Of course, like it's incomplete because like everything's interconnected. The press release is reliant on summarizing the content of our gathering, which will include speakers and panels and events. And of course, we're in the process of finding speakers, finding workshops, finding actions, getting logistics done. So the press release will be led as direction is led towards finding the content and finding speakers. Check.
Thanks for that, Daniel. Nikki, you have your hand up. I'm going to open up your microphone.
I would just say to Gandalf, the process that we came to conclusion for things like this, the final proposed result would be uploaded to Loomio. So if you use Loomio, that's where you would see it. You don't necessarily have to go to the TitanPad if you don't want to work on the language of the beginnings of it. So that's an option if you just want to look at what's going to be presented to this group, and then you can weigh in there. And then perhaps then you can go to the TitanPad. I don't know. But that's kind of the process that we created to have things like this go through. Over.
Thanks for that, Nikki. Sally, you have a direct response. Your microphone is open.
Yeah, that was my fault. I had said that I would post the press release to Loomio after we did our media thing with it, and I saw Daniel had posted the link so early that I just never took the actual text and put it on Loomio. It's a misunderstanding. I thought the link would do it, and my apologies, and that will not happen again. Check.
You're doing great, Sally. Don't worry about anything. Let's see, you got twinkles from Nikki and I believe Gandalf on what you just said. I'm going to put all the hands down. And so we're sort of talking about Loomio and press release at the same time, which is kind of neat and good. So I'm following. I think there is like a discussion on Loomio about the workshops. Does anybody want to speak to how that's going? All right, Tricia, your microphone is on.
So Loomio was developed by Occupy Sydney, and it uses a lot of the things that were effective in General Assembly, and it gives everyone a chance to speak and everyone a chance to look at the issue with all of the responses in one place. The problem with the listservs is that the conversation gets jumbled in all of these messages, and people responding to digests and things like that. So even if people don't want to use it for a voting thing, it's a way to converse. It's a way to pick up all the information at your own time and your own speed. We're organizing across about 5 time zones. So this is a way for us to work through the night and get things done. But I understand that different people want to work different ways, and I think that we just are. It's just going to be like a multi-pronged effort. I think that the calls are important and that they should always be used for report backs and things like that. But as for the work getting done, the Loomio is just letting us fly as opposed to crawl. Check.
All right, that's good news, Tricia. Thanks for that. You have 2 direct responses, followed by Sally on Stack. We're going to go to Donna, then Lisa. Donna, your microphone is open.
Yeah, I originally had a direct response to something else, but it's kind of all encompassing at this point. I just want to know, I was in a band for like 7 years. Am I done? Was that the done sound? We're down to 10 seconds for Donna. She'll talk forever. Okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, so I was in a band for a long time, and I'm always running around doing things that have to have press releases. But I think that right now I just want to make a direct comment on the press release. First of all, it's 3 months to go. Any press release we make right now is going to have to be redone at some intermediate point in time, and then another one possibly closer to the event. So realistically, I'm thinking we need 3 versions of a press release. Right now, the important thing is just to get a press release out that announces this will be happening and when, and for people where to go for more information. Then the second one can be with like where it's going to be, more information, flesh it out a little bit, adding more information to make it more current so that the news release goes out. Because first of all, getting major newspapers to cover this as a press release, I don't know if that happens in Sacramento a lot, but we sure don't, get too much notice from the people in San Diego when we do that, but hopefully at Sacramento it's best. So I just wanted to make that note that, the stressing about the press release getting done, right now it just needs to be preliminary, I believe. Other people might feel differently, but that's just my 2 cents. Thank you so much.
Thanks for that, Donna. We are going to open up Lisa's mic for a direct response.
Oh, okay, great, thank you. This is a direct response to Tricia. Yes, I think Loomio is a far superior way to communicate online with each other. But I do think that voting should be done on this call. Perhaps we could find a way to do voting in both places with, of course, people on the honor system to not vote twice. But I definitely like voting on the call because we're hearing from people who may not even be participating on Loomio. So I think we need voting in both. I check.
Alrighty. I have a little stack working here. Sally, you were on stack, but now you have a direct response, and then Daniel was on stack, and then followed by Cal. So let's go to you, Sally. I'm going to open up your microphone.
Yeah, I switched to a direct response because I wanted to say something about the voting concept. Because I have a real problem with the whole voting thing. It's getting to consensus, and I think the ultimate consensus should be found on this call because we can actually talk in real time and hear points of view as the final decision is being made. But absolutely, the preliminary, and it is up, down, abstain, and so forth, consensus forming on Loomio should inform this discussion. And I don't think it's a matter of 1 vote, 2 votes. That's where I kind of went, oops, wait, no. And I'm trying to remember what I wanted to say before that came up, so I can't, so never mind, check.
All right, thanks for that, Sally. We have a direct response from Tricia, followed by Daniel and Cal on stack. Tricia, your microphone is on.
Some people who are in the organizing are not just people learn differently, right? Some people are visual people, some people like writing, and some people like talking. And so I think using these different formats would be accommodating to all our different organizers, because there's people who don't have the time or their life circumstances to be on the call. And when these final decisions are made, that encompass all of the group, it can be a little trying to have to deal with that. So anyway, what I was going to say is maybe we use like Google Hangouts for things, for people who are visual, and they're for their group, and then we use the Loomio for the discussions, and then we use the call just to confirm, and someone can send. The groups can send a spokesperson. So it could be like a little bit of a tier type of thing in our work. Check.
All right. You got twinkles from myself, Julia, and Lisa on what you just said, Tricia. Let's see. Down twinkles from Sally, and then we've got 2 people on stack. So Sally, you went from a 1 to a 3. I'm just going to open your mic up and see if you want to say anything.
Yeah, I had it there for a minute, and it was gone again. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, I have had some problems with Google Hangout simply from a tech perspective. It's not been so easy. You don't really see as much as one would hope in my experience. Others, of course, may have had better experience. Tiers, no tiers, not loving that. Also, there was one concern. If we post, I realized the other thing I thought when I didn't post the press release to, well, actually, I guess we would post the press release to Loomio as a proposal. That way, except if it changes on the Titan Pad and it doesn't change on Loomio, then you've got a problem. That's why I took it off a second Titan Pad, so it would only be in one place. So that's something to consider. Check.
All right, thanks for that, Sally. We have a direct response from Julia, followed by Daniel and Cal on Stack. Julia, your microphone is open.
Hi, if anybody needs any assistance with tech support on G+, I got you covered on that. Or we could use, or Skype could be used. It's has a lot more security holes, but it's not like we're doing anything that needs confidential communications. And on the TitanPad, I think that once this I think is kind of important, that once something is put up for a vote, it shouldn't change. You know, it goes up for a vote, let it go, and if the pad is changing or developing, especially with press releases, it can be the next one up. And I think that press releases, you know, like the lady that said that she had a ban, there's plenty of them. And but if you might want to give Skype you might want to give Skype a call or a try if Google is not is too heavy. Check. Hush.
All right, thanks for that, Julia. Let's see here. We still got a little stack working, but we're moving into direct responses. We are at 8:02 p.m., 28 minutes from the end of the call. I'm going to ask direct responses be limited to as quickly as possible so that we can get back on the stack. Nikki, you are the first direct response, followed by Lisa.
Direct response, Sally, I think you nailed it. Perhaps the Lumio is the proposal from the committee working on it, because that's where if somebody wants to be on the committee, they're on the TitanPad working on the language. And then the proposal goes to Lumio. The proposal gets a consensus or not, and then it comes to this one for any further discussion, because this group gave the Outreach and Media group a lot of autonomy to handle it in earlier calls. Over.
Thanks for that, Nikki. We have the direct response from Lisa. Your microphone is open.
Okay, thank you. This is a direct response to Tricia. My first gut feeling talking about the Google Hangouts and Skype is, oh no, is this going to be too confusing to have too many different places to vote? But then my second gut feeling is maybe we should test it out, just like we're testing out Lumio. So just throw that out there. Maybe we want to test making a very minor decision using the different platforms that you suggested and see how it works. I check.
Thanks for that, Lisa. And so Carrie has joined the stack. The stack now stands at Daniel and Cal, which have been on stack for about 5 minutes, followed by Sally, and then followed by Carrie. We do have one more direct response from Nikki, so I'm going to open up your mic for a direct response.
I agree with her. I think we should use anything anybody wants to use. But again, do the work on the TitanPad, the actual work on any language directive, press releases, whatever, as official, and then bring it as a proposal to the Lumio. And I think we can work just as fine whatever we use. Over.
Thank you very much. You got twinkles from Julia on what you just said. All right, Daniel, you've been so patient. I hope you remember what you wanted to say. Your microphone is open.
This is a mistake. I was meaning to press 2. Check.
Oh, well, thanks for that clarification, and that makes sense. Let's see, Cal, you are on the stack, so I'm opening your microphone. Cal, your
me.
microphone is,
yeah,
sorry.
I thought you said Sally. Sorry. I thought you said Sally. I waited so long I forgot. So a couple things. One is that I happen to like the TitanPad, which was our, we got away from Google Docs, because people can collaborate on the language and whatnot. I just took a look at some of these discussions on Lumio, and I don't see any place for us to actually collaborate on language there. So I'm going to be talking with the Lumio folks, hopefully, to talk to them about how the thing integrates with existing systems like email and also collaborative tools and whatnot. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that I have been thinking about this quite a bit and came up with four things that I think should be for an ideal situation for what we're talking about here in terms of making decisions. I just want to present those really quickly. The ideal situation would, A, provide a way for people to be able to participate in a decision either online or on the phone as they choose. B, preserve the value of real-time collective participation, which would be the phone calls in this case, which in my opinion ought not to be eliminated, because otherwise we lose some of our collective glue and we become just a bunch of individuals. C, allow the planning group, this planning group, the one that's meeting on the calls, to retain its responsibility for making decisions on things that affect the gathering overall, while still allowing some online participation into those decisions. And D, give some period of time to ease into using a new technology that may still have kinks and bumps to work out. So given all that, I actually think the best way, and maybe this has already been said, and I apologize if I'm being redundant, the best way might be for people who aren't going to be on the call to weigh in online. And if there are objections or blocks there, then they can be discussed there. And maybe that will cut down some of the time we spend considering proposals on these calls, which I think is one of the aims of trying to use an online system. And so if there still remain unresolved objections or blocks, they can be brought to the call, when the particular call when the decision is going to be made, along with the online poll results, which can then be added to the results on the phone after the callers weigh in. And if there are objections raised on the call by callers, they can be dealt with here and now, just like we do already. So I think there's a hybrid way to make this work. I'm going to put this out to the email list. It probably has already been said, but I'll just put it out as a more concise way of expressing what a lot of people have been saying. Check.
Thanks for that, Guy. You got twinkles from Julia and Jackie on that, who's just joined the stack. Nikki has a direct response to what you just said, followed by Sally, Carrie, and Jackie on stack. Nikki, your microphone is on.
I twinkled too. Cal, I think what we proposed, we'll do all of that already, and I think we've figured it out. I don't know if anybody else feels that way. I think we're good to go. Over.
Thanks for that, Nikki. Moving back to the stack with Sally. Your microphone is open.
Yeah, my question is, what is the advantage of a Google Hangout Skype versus this phone call? To me, it seems on this call we can, go in order, raise lower mics, take temperature checks and polls. I don't know how any of that could happen on a video conference. So, check. I'm leaving your mic open. I don't think we're talking about changing the platform of this call, but I could be wrong about that. So, I think Maestro is perfect for what we're doing right now. So that's it. We have direct response from Tricia, followed by Nikki. Tricia, your microphone is on.
The reason why I'm saying the Google Hangouts, because Linda Roberts, who's down in Sacramento, doing a lot of the encampment strategies, she says she needs visual cues. She can't work on this call because it's not just not the way she picks up information. And I think that person is important to coordinating this event. And so having different options for people would be, because you just got to understand that there's a lot of people who like different things, who have different connectivity, maybe can't stay on the call. They might they're on minutes or whatever. So there's a lot of things to consider. And so if we have this different flow of work going up to the calls, if somebody can pop in on the call when they know they're going to present or something, or there's going to be a vote. But I just feel like everybody on this call thinks it's okay because they're here, and the people who are not here, can't speak because they can't be here. So that's all I'm saying. I just want to open it up. I think putting it out online is great too, because there's transparency in how we did it in our conversations. So I believe in that too. It's in transparency in what we're doing. It will stop a lot of some of the misunderstandings that that had such a negative effect on last year's gathering. Check.
All right, thanks for that, Tricia. We're getting more direct responses in. Carrie, if you'd like to change from being on the stack to a direct response, just press 4 and I'll get you in there because you've been waiting a long time. Nikki, there, Carrie. Let's go to Carrie. She's on stack for a while, and then we'll go to Nikki, followed by Julia. Carrie, your mic is on.
I'm hyperventilating over here. I put my name on Stack, and some people have been called on 3 times since I've been for a direct response that started with, I agree with, and here's why. Let me tell you all, that's a 2. Put up a 2, not a 4. We are desperate for a decision-making process. These calls, I think you're all duped into thinking that we make decisions on these calls because we don't. Decisions are made on Facebook and on Lumio and everywhere else in the world, and those get put into place. And on these calls, we discuss them. And that's exactly opposite. If everybody would participate in the Lumio or anything, the emails, and then come to this call with all that knowledge and discussion out of the way, we could actually make decisions. But in 3 months, we've made one decision, pulled it back, and made a different decision on a date. And so far, that's it, as far as I can tell. Can we please make a decision today on anything? Check.
Thanks for that, Carrie. There's the board is getting pretty filled up. I've got some twinkles from Tricia and Nikki, and Jackie and Julia, it seems, and some Dom twinkles from Sally and Cal, and a direct response, probably not to what you were saying, but a direct response from Nikki. So, Nikki, I'm going to open your mic up real quick. What have you got?
Right on. I think the only issue is timing of the structure. The Google Hangouts and Skype or whatever anybody wants to use, that's on one level, and I think we should use as many as possible. Those need to be brought to the TitanPad where the work is being done, where Daniel has started, and then the discussions on those places need to be integrated onto that TitanPad. That's the work of the subcommittee. This group gave that subcommittee a lot of autonomy. The next thing I would say after that is, and then it goes to Lumio as a proposal from the subcommittee. That dialogue that Cal was talking about happens there, that online dialogue. And then if it comes up to this thing and it needs to be discussed here, it is discussed here by the people that it's important by. Over.
Thanks for that, Nikki. You got twinkles from Julia. All right. I think I have some people on Stack still. It would be Julia followed by Tricia. If you still want to be on Stack, Julia and Tricia, please put the number 1 up. And Jackie, I didn't mean to forget you. So let's open up your mic and start a new Stack with Jackie. Jackie, your microphone's on.
Okay, and I'm going to change the flavor a little. Still about Lumio. The 2 things that I like Lumio the best for, I do love everything's been consolidated. There's been a lot more discussing and a lot more insight than on the emails because, like Tricia said, things get scattered on emails or you talk about 3 subjects at once. And when you're over there, it's one subject. I think the greatest thing that will come out of it is, like Kerry had just said, it'll make the calls quicker. But no tool or any tool is only as good as how much we use it. I've seen this with all sorts of tools that tech people have tried to use. If people don't use them, then, they're no good. If we use that system, TitanPads, Lumio, and then be prepared on the call, I'm actually surprised, like this has been a really long conversation. And Carrie is right. People don't need to get on and say, not to diss anybody, to just say I agree, because you can do that with a 2. Okay, so it'll improve our call, number 1. My second big interest in Lumio goes back to the proposal by Zoe, which I think we were going to try and vote on. It will be a wonderful test drive for national inclusivity or international. I'm thinking, with whatever we put together for that day online, we can, let's say we have some proposals at GAs. We can get these out a week or 2 ahead of time. People can vote on them, hundreds and hundreds of people, and bring it to the GA. So there's all sorts of great, interesting things we can do there. Check.
Thanks for that, Jackie. Speaking of 2s, you got a whole bunch of them on what you just said. Let's see here. Lisa, you have a direct response followed by Julia on Stack.
Oh, thank you. Yes, this is my question to Jackie. If we do go with these different voting mechanisms, are we going to determine what determines consensus on each one? I mean, does it have to be all? Are we going to set a percentage level? You know, I'm a little concerned is what if we get consensus, say, on the phone call and Lumio, but we don't get it on the Google Hangout and the Skype? I yield.
All right, Jackie, I'm going to open up your mic to answer that question, followed by Sally with a direct response.
Okay, I think that's a great question because I did notice the few proposals that went through and you know, closed and passed, but they weren't like huge decisions. I don't know how to put that. There's 23 people in the group right now, I believe, and on any decision I've seen, there's been no more than about 7 votes. So, right, 7 people out of 23. Where does that go? The same thing we were trying to decide on the picture for the press release. On Facebook, 3 people liked it. On Lumio, 2 people liked another one. So, yeah, we do have to have that. I mean, I thought we did decide long ago that the call was sort of the final body. But people hate to talk about consensus. I think we do need to decide that. Chaz brought it up right before the call about quorum, because we didn't know if a lot of people were going to get on with the time change. So even here, I don't think it's been a problem, but we sort of threw out 10 because there's usually 15 people. There's been up to 30. I don't think we should make decisions with less than 10, but we have never dealt with this, and everybody shied away from the, you know, talking about process way back when. So good question. I don't know the answer, and I don't know where we should go from here because I know we don't want to take the time up tonight. Check.
All right. Well, we are having a discussion about Lumio, which is on the agenda, so it seems we're sticking to the agenda. Our time frame is running low, though. We have 12 minutes left. I have 4 direct responses. It's Julia, Sally, Tricia, then Cal. So we're going to try to keep it as brief as possible and move through these direct responses, and maybe somebody will propose something. Lisa's got a on stack, so we're going to go in order. Julia, your microphone is open.
I do propose something. I think that Lumina would be a very good solution. It's for the Twitter. I mean, for the Google Plus and Skype, because it's an online solution. And for example, we can't look at pictures on telephones. It's really difficult. I cannot be on the computer and the telephone at the same time. So Lumina can be consensus there. Those are easy to make. Those you can make as many as you want and close them as often as you want, and it kind of comes together. So Skype and Lumina, I propose use Lumina for their consensus making, and that's checked.
Thanks for that, Julia. You got twinkles, I believe, from Robert and Nikki on what you just said. On down twinkles from Cal. Let's see here. Julia, then Sally. Sally, you had a direct response at some point. I'm going to open up your mic. If you remember what your direct response was, please let us know.
Yeah, it goes back to what's consensus. Consensus is when we reach an agreement that nobody is so upset with that they walk away from the group. Check.
All right, I think that is a pretty fair definition of consensus. Tricia, you had a direct response. Your microphone is open.
Well, in my tradition, I'm a Quaker, and we talk about the sense of the meeting. It's like not my way, your way. It's the way. And so when we're just trying to discern, together when it feels right. So that's as far as what I feel about consensus. Because when feels right, it feels right. So that's what I feel the decisions are. But anyway, as far as the different platforms, how about the different working groups choose which way they would like to meet in the interim between these calls? Do they want to meet at Hangouts? Do they want to do a little Facebook party? Just let each one of these working groups choose, because I don't know what these working groups or other working groups are doing really because of the way that the notes are set up. So if we had the working groups choose which platform they want to do, maybe they'll meet more and do more work and have something to report back on these calls. Check.
All right, thanks for that, Tricia. And yeah, that was my thinking, was that the subgroups are going to be using Google if they wanted to, and using Lumio as a supplement to this call. That sounds good. You did get lots of twinkles for that. Let's see, next on the list is Cal. Cal, I'm going to open up your microphone. You had I think a direct response at some point.
Yeah, in the set of things I read, there was an implied sequence there, and I just want to clarify that to make sure it was heard. It sounds like what I heard back from somebody else sounds different than that, and that's why I put up one of the reasons I put up a 3. Put up a 3 for 2 different things. One, so the idea, in my view, is you have a lot more people who are discussing this thing and churning with it on Lumio. They can do that, and then once they reach consensus over there, then that can be brought over here, or if they have an objection that needs to be discussed on the phone, they can bring it over here too, and then that gets added into what happens on this call. But the final determination of whether we have consensus happens on these calls, at least within the group that's on the calls in some medium. I mean, I myself would have a real problem because I don't like blogging style forums, and when I go over there and I look at it, I see a whole bunch of posts one after the other, and that for me, even though email's cumbersome, I'm just so oriented towards email that I would just have a problem going over there to do it. So I'd rather just stay here on a call where I can actually hear everybody's voice, because when somebody raises a point in the discussions, it's important for me to hear their tone of voice, to feel their energy, none of which I can do if I'm just reading words, and usually plain text words. That was the first thing. And the second thing is that, let's be clear, that the decision-making ability rests with the people who are on this call, and not necessarily on the call, but I mean with the people who are on this call. That's what I'm trying to say. And I love the idea that work groups can play around with these different tools and make their final consensus decisions on whichever tool they use. That sounds great as a good experiment, but let's hold off on doing that with this group as a final thing until we have more experience with the hybrid approach. Lastly, as far as consensus is concerned, I have a sort of a similar view about the group having consensus, coming to consensus. We use voting as a kind of crude way of doing that, but to me, it's what feels right to one person might not feel right to the other person. There's a sense of, the byword in consensus in places like co-housing communities is, can you live with a decision? And you fundamentally not have any paramount objections. You fundamentally in alignment with it. I'd also like to start moving the discussion towards alignment rather than consensus, because it's, are we aligned with it? Can we align with it? Rather than can you live with it, or do you agree with it, or whatnot. So, and alignment feels a lot closer to the spirit of what I believe Tricia was saying when she said, when she talks about the Quaker groups, the way they sit. Check.
All right, thanks for that, Cal. We've got Lisa coming up on Stack. Your microphone is open.
Okay, excuse me. Yes, I share a lot of your opinions, Cal, on this. One thing, though, that I do like about the voting online is it allows people like Tricia, who is a real integral part of our group, and maybe Daniel Hong and others who participate in the calls, but for time scheduling reasons are not around when we vote. It gives them a voting voice. So I don't know, I toyed with the idea of maybe having a modified voting that, certain people would be allowed to vote on Lumio. So anyway, I yield.
All right, thanks for that, Lisa. We've got Julia. Your microphone is on.
One of a good example of how Lumio does work is over the weekend I did a lot of JPEGs for the donation button. I did them just kind of because it was a Friday night and was goofing around, and it got picked up and liked and shot down, and it didn't even make it to any decision making. I didn't object to it, though I didn't necessarily think that it was a wonderful, it was just goofing off, but I didn't object to it being picked up and carried off to be used. So that's a good example of how Lumina can keep the white noise away and keep it focused. So that's an integral part, and being able to vote online and not having to necessarily be here for the phone, which you cannot see body language. You can only hear my voice. If I happen to have a very good radio voice, I can actually make my voice sound incredible. Therefore, just seeing a voice can be challenging, and so all of it together becomes one, and I think that it'll just work out. Check.
Oh, perfect timing. Thanks for that, Julia. We appreciate the feedback. Let's see here. We are getting dangerously close to the end of the call. We have about 4 minutes left of regular scheduled programming, and it seems that we have a proposal from somebody who is not on the call, which always makes things relatively difficult, but from what I've just heard, it sounds like it could be a relatively easy proposal, so I'm just going to read it with all this new knowledge that we just came across. What Zoe is saying here, she thinks we should use Google Hangouts to communicate with the world from NatGet. She wants to know if anybody's against this, or if anybody else thinks it's a good idea, or if anybody wants to change the proposal. I personally, on a temp check, would be twinkling up on, yeah, let's practice with Google Hangouts. I think a lot of people would be happy to get really good at Google Hangouts, not as a replacement for this call, but as a different way that we can communicate with one another. So that said, that is a new business item. We spent a lot of time talking about it. I've got people coming on the stack. So let's see here. Donna, I haven't heard your voice in a while. I'm going to turn your microphone on.
Thank you. Okay, well, my only comment would be, it's a question and a comment. Are you saying that there's actually a proposal to communicate to the world from NatGet using Google Hangouts? Because the only comment I would have on that is I'm sure that we should have people communicate with everything and make multiple platforms, which obviously makes sense. So if this is a proposal and someone's suggesting that we use Google Hangouts exclusively or make it official, because that obviously wouldn't be a good idea. We want to get as many places as possible. I yield. Thank you.
I think the sentencing on the agenda that would be answering that would be, would it be possible to have discussion panels, workshops online as part of NatGet using Google Chats? So I don't know. There's no mention of exclusivity per se. So I hope that helps out. Let's see here. We've got a direct response from Delphine. I haven't heard from you in over an hour. What have you got?
Hi. Can you guys hear me? I wanted to suggest that rather than rely on a service like Google Hangouts that's provided by a company that hasn't lived up to its promise not to be evil, I think we should look for alternatives, both that are more accessible and that are, I don't know, less in the realm of a gigantic corporation that hasn't done right by our folks in many ways. But I'm thinking that there are alternatives that actually are more accessible on older machines, such as I use a first-generation iPad. It's my only way to connect right now on the internet for the most part, and Adobe Connect actually works on there. I know that's another big evil corporation, but there may be a way to do that on Lumio. There's a way to do it on Skype. Skype conferencing that might be better for like groups of individuals, but when it comes to like broadcast type of out to the world from the NatGet, maybe live stream is a better approach. Check.
Right on. I don't think we could stop our brave live streamers from doing this, but yeah, and I think that this is more of an all of the above approach than an exclusive use the corporate machine to do it. So let's see here. We're going to start moving quickly. Jackie, you had your hand up at some point, so I'm going to open up your mic. Jackie.
Yeah, Donna and Delphine pretty much handled it. I was just going to say that's not at all. The way you worded it was not at all how I took Zoe's proposal. It was not about Google. It was just an extra sentence saying that they have improved vastly, but proposal is to have an online component. Still shares, participation, discussions, whatever we wind up coming up. And in that sense, it is a no-brainer. I think we should move towards doing that. And that's separate from, what the live streamers do. It's in conjunction, but to establish a real, a whole separate schedule where people can be doing things online. Check.
All right. So we do have lots of, there was a stack working, and then the direct responses started coming in. So I'm just going to, let's see, we're going to make an order. It's going to go Carrie, then Robert, then Nikki. So Carrie, I'm going to open up your mic real quick here. What have you got?
Yes, exactly what Jackie just said, that I took Zoe's proposal in that we need an online, it's a two-part. We need an online component, yes or no. Yes is my answer, and that Google Hangouts has improved vastly. And yes, it's an evil corporation, but so is Skype, and so is anything else so is frickin' Livestream. Hello? I mean, come on. And Ustream, they've all kind of, gone that way. And so for one thing, all of this discussion is exactly what I was talking about. If you have an opinion about the service that we use, you should be part of the media team. But none of this discussion should be happening on this call. This is pretty much a straight up or down vote. Do we want to have an online component to the NatGat? I vote yes because I'm in Hawaii, and you didn't have that last year or the year before. That's the whole reason I'm here. So if this group cannot make a decision about that, pretty much what's going to happen is somebody's going to do it for you. We're just going to go, me and Zoe are going to go around and just do it. And then you can have your live stream thing, and we can have everything else. But, I mean, what are we talking about here? Check.
Very good points, Carrie. And just to clarify, as facilitator of the call, it's awkward for me to bring a proposal to this group. That's why I read it. And if I read it wrong, I'm sorry. But anybody who wants to make a proposal on this call is free to do so at any time. Robert, you are not heard of very often. Then we're going to go to Tricia. Robert, your microphone is open.
Hi. I agree with doing an online component. I'll be bringing a 17-inch HP Envy just released model with me. I'm hoping to have other people bring monitors I can hook up to it because I have 4 USB ports. And I plan on having multiple screens open to multiple streams to different people that I'm going to try personally to organize. Like I'm going to talk to Ray and say if he wants to do a stream thing for, blah, blah, blah. And so anybody that wants to get with me on doing stuff like that with me specific, because I will be presenting that myself at the NatGat for my own personal agenda. Check.
All right, thanks for that, Robert. Let's see here. Carrie, you had a 1-up and then it went to Twinkles. Let's see. Jackie, you had a direct response at some point. I think I've been unfair to not open up your mic. Your mic is open now.
No, you got me. Go ahead, Jack.
All right, thanks. So, all right, I'm going to put the hands down just because they're moving around really quickly. We are overtime. We started at 7:35, and it is now 8:34. So we've been on the call for 2 hours. So if you got anything to say here before we start to end I guess the first thing is if anybody can't stay on the call, it looks like we lost Tricia. She is no longer here. If anybody can't stay on the call past the 2 hours, please put the number 1 up. Oh, okay, yeah, we've got a couple. So, yeah, I kind of had things I needed to do as well. So, let's think here. That's Nick. You have a direct response. I'm going to put your microphone on, and I think we're going to start our checkout soon. So, Nikki, your microphone is on.
I would like to make a proposal that we have an online component, and I would suggest that if this group wants to highlight that online component, that online component composer or curator or whoever's putting it on brings it to the scheduling subcommittee, and then they bring that proposal to us. Because, yeah, I do think it's good to highlight both of them, live and that, and people are going to be doing it all the time. But the actual vision of this gathering that has been working together to bring this vision to light need to, okay, over.
No,
You got
no,
it.
you're not, guys. No. That is not an here. This is the official dong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that's not clear. My phone. Someone is having a conversation on Facebook. And I think it's Carrie's husband, and it just keeps dinging, and I don't know how to turn it off. The battery won't even come out. So if you have anything else
But
to
that's
say,
what
please
I'm
say it.
saying. I think we have what we need in place. I think if we go back and listen to what everybody has said on this call, I think we do have a process, and that's my proposal is that we already have a process. I just think everybody needs to re-listen to this and really see the organization that we actually all have, but I don't think anybody's brought it together except for Sally so beautifully in the call that we had before. Over.
Now, thank you for that, Nikki. I believe we have a proposal. We are over time, so if anybody is totally objecting to letting this proposal go, for an up or down, twinkling up or twinkling down, whether or not NatGat 3 will have an online component using tools like Skype, Google Hangouts, etc. Just press the number 5 to hate that idea. But otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and do a temp check. All right. I got a couple people that just don't like it. Would you like to speak to that? I'll open up your mic first, Donna.
Thank you, Chaz. My only concern with this was initially I got a bad impression from the reading of it perhaps, but listening to other people's comments and the comments about Google being evil, I would just offer a friendly amendment. If that would be okay. My friendly amendment being that I wouldn't mind, of course, using any platform whatsoever, including Google Hangouts. However, if in some way, shape, or form this is going to be some kind of marketing scheme for Google Glass or getting some way to get Google Glass at the NatGat, that is something I would definitely block. I'm in an inter-occupied EMS call that's been going on for a year and a half. Strapping wireless to your head, like a Bluetooth even, is absolutely damaging to humans, and I just don't want to see this turn into an advertising scheme for Google Glass. I yield.
Thanks for that, Donna. And let's see, what have you got? You really don't.
I'm just twinkling. I'm just saying here to what she said.
Okay, good. All right. So, Don, as long as it's, I don't think Google is going to pay much interest in what we're doing. So as long as it's okay with Donna, I'm going to go ahead and call for a temp check on whether or not we should have a online component for NatGat 3. So if anybody objects to having a temp check, please press the number 5. All right. I don't see any 5s in, so the wording of the proposal is should we have, let's see, who's best at it? Nikki, I think you had the best proposal. Can you just real quickly say what you said before for everybody so we can do a temp check?
Oh my goodness, I don't remember.
That's okay. I'll go to Carrie. Carrie, would you want to phrase this proposal real quick?
Should NatGat 3 have an online component on the ground? Yes or no? Press
All
2
right, that
for
is
yes, press 3 for no.
There you have it. I'm going to put all the hands down, and let's start that temp check. Check is a 2 for you agree with the online component of NatGat on the ground, 3 if you do not agree with having an online component of NatGat on the ground, and a 4 if you'd like to stand aside. We will give the vote a good 10 seconds just to make sure everybody gets in there. So far we have 11 2s and 1 1 and 2 no responses. Brother Carter, I'm trying to remember the person who's with Charlotte, but Charlotte, Brother Carter, if you can hear me, we're doing a temp check. Thank you, Brother Carter. And Charlotte and friend, And Cal, if you feel like you'd like to vote on this. Otherwise, we've got 12 twos, 0 threes, and one stand aside and one no vote. Excuse me. So I think I'm glad we really clarified all this. The temperature is definitely there. There's no objections to this proposal whatsoever. I thank for the people that brought the proposal up to the call. So that's to be recorded in the notes. 12 twos, one stand aside, and one no response. All right. Let's see here. I'm ready to start the checkouts. So I guess during your checkout, if you want to say anything, please say it then. We're going to start with Delphine. Delphine, your microphone is open for checkouts.
Hi. Thanks, everyone, for a difficult but important call. I'm sorry for that my information that I would like to share with you has been somewhat delayed, and that's affecting everyone. I want to say, too, that as far as what we just voted on, while I do support us having online communications, I was one of the twos in the temp check. I want to say that I am concerned about keeping it fully transparent and democratic with to the extent possible with our media communications, because I think we have witnessed only in recent months what can happen when, say, a Twitter account is used by a single person or a small group of people. Anti-democratic things can and do happen that can totally pull the rug out from under a movement that is supposed to be broad and leaderless. So I hope that we can think in terms of how to avoid that sort of problem by keeping things inclusive and accountable and transparent. Chuck.
Thank you for that. Delphine, you got lots of twos from Nikki, myself, Jackie. And so we're going to continue with the checkouts. And once again, if you have something you want to say while you check out, feel free. Nikki, your microphone is on for the checkout.
Just checking out. I'm in LA. I'm going to the Occupy LA GA tonight, so if anybody's around, please come. Let's just, we're trying to organize here. Would love to go to San Diego, would love to go to Sacramento face-to-face and do some of that work as well. So just hit me on the Facebook coordinating page for Southern California. Cool, thank you, bye.
Thank you, Nikki. And on this point, because we lost a couple people, please feel free to stay on the call and listen to all the checkouts. Cal, you are up for a checkout. Your microphone is on.
Oh, thank you. First of all, I just want to say I'm very confused about what just happened. We spent the better part of an hour talking about decision-making process for us to be using as we're planning, and then somehow in the last 3 minutes or 4 minutes, we ended up voting on a decision about something that was happening at the gathering itself. I completely missed any sense of a transition from one to the other, and so that was horribly confusing for me how that happened. So it was weird. Anyway, we're still obviously learning and churning, and let's keep doing it, and we'll see you all on the fly. And I'm going to have to leave. You normally wait until the end of the checkouts, but I have another call, and I have to grab something to eat before then, so I'll see you all very soon. Ciao.
All right, thanks for that checkout, Kyle. I am kind of going out of order because people are trying to get on the stack. Unfortunately, we didn't have consensus to continue the call past the end time. We are now 10 minutes past the end time. Tricia, I'm glad you made it back. I noticed we lost you. We're doing our checkouts now. There were several people who need to get off the call. But if you did have to say anything, now's the time. Your microphone is on.
Yeah, just checking out, just thanking everyone for all the time that you're putting in and all the openness to new things. I think our participation with so many different people from all over the country is going to be great. And I would encourage everyone to just look at the Lumio and all the ideas that are popping up there and just jump in with both feet, because this is an Occupy inspired thing, and it'd be nice for us to really take the ball and run with it. Check.
Thanks for that checkout, Tricia. We're going to follow up that with Brother Carter. What have you got to say? Your microphone is on.
I just wanted to say I'm checking out too. I want to Thank everybody that was on the call today. Let's just continue to do what we're doing. And I'll get ahead of catching up with Linda on the Sweet thing and get our finance for its coordination and order here to help out the rest of the group. I said that would be the last thing on my plate because I have so much on my plate, but since we haven't had Linda on that call, I'll make sure that I'll get a response to that so next week we can get that out of the way so we can move forward. In the meantime, I just want to say thank everybody for being on the call again. Love you all. Continue to love one another because that's what it's going to take for us to move forward. And God bless, and I'll catch everybody on the next call. Peace out.
Thank you very much for that checkout, Brother Carter. Next, we're going to move to Carrie for a checkout. Your microphone is on.
Aloha. Aloha, everybody. Aloha, kako. I'm glad we made a decision. I think that's what this call is for, and I refuse to wait another week for somebody to send an email out to the email list to see if we can make a decision. So, good job, y'all. We did something today. Check.
Thanks, Carrie, and thanks for bringing up that we should do something because I think it makes everybody feel good that we accomplished something with our 2 hours on the phone call. Lisa, I'm going to open up your mic for a checkout. What have you got?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I'm going to pick Stephen Payan's brain about the two sites up for consideration for camping, the Woodland College and the old Gottschalk's store, and I will put the information, I hope the right place to put it is on Lumio. I check.
Thank you for that, Lisa. Excuse me. Let's see. I'm really going out of order, and so I hope I don't miss anybody on these checkouts. There's lots of numbers coming in. Sally, your microphone is open for a checkout.
Yeah, I'm sorry I got here late. Glad I got here when I did, for as much as I did. I think I'm glad we're going to continue playing with Lumio and working toward prelims on that. I do want to say that in contrast to what I think I heard, and it may have been wrong, to my knowledge, we haven't tried to have an online component every year. We've had tech problems that got in the way, but that is and continues to be our goal, and I'm glad that we're doing that again. Check.
Thanks for that checkout, Sally. Next, we're going to Nikki from Palm Springs. If you'd like to check out, or
oh no, that was all twos. That was just all twos. I just, you know, we really did a lot of work on this call. I think if people look back and see where we all are, I just don't think anybody had the voice to bring everything all together. Carrie, you were dead on so often. And just, I appreciate everybody's voice, and Sally, you rock. And whoever, Chaz, who's facilitating? You did a great job. Woo!
Well, thank you, Nikki. I appreciate that feedback. Yeah, no, that's a great checkout, and it's good to hear your voice as always. Let's see, who have we got next? Julia Clark. I don't think you've checked out. Your microphone is open.
Hi. About the tech problems, when they should kind of be expected. You should expect somebody to try to throw a kink in it. So maybe this year that'll get on, God willing, you know. And this week, I'm either going to be heading that way or heading to court for a significant court thing. And I'm still kind of up in the air on that. So Illumina is really important in being able to keep up. I know without a doubt that my email box is probably jam-packed full, and I'm going to just have to sift through it and find the key important things. And so Illumina is just super duper, and it's been really great, and I'm glad I made it, even though I made it late too. And thanks for all the work everyone does. And
thank you.
Check.
Thank you, Julia. I appreciate that. Check out. Let's see here. Donna, I don't think you've checked out yet. Your microphone is on.
Well, thank you, Chaz, and I'd like to add that you are a marvelous facilitator. So anyway, I just want to say thank you to everyone for everything you're doing. We're going to pull this all together. We have 3 whole months. And I do want to comment to Nikki from Palm Springs, if she's still on the line. Nikki, all my contacts got dumped. If you could please call me regarding coming to San Diego. I wish I could meet you in LA tonight, but I don't think I'm going to have time to make it up there in time. But if you are coming to San Diego, we have the world famous San Diego Earth Fair happening in Balboa Park on Sunday. So anyone that's in the area, please come on down, because you can find all the occupiers from Occupy San Diego involved in, I think we've got 6 booths associated with in all the groups that we're representing. And I'm going to be a runner. My theme is going to be all our grievances are connected, taking from the Declaration of the Occupation of New York City from OWS. And I'm going to run around and make sure that everybody knows that all our grievances are connected. So it'll be a great day for anyone to come down to Balboa Park on Sunday. Also, Lisa, still trying to get to SAC. I've got 2 days to get out of this apartment. I'm being evicted. But that's another thing. I'm actually fighting the landlord and the bank. So it's actually all Occupy related. So love you all. Thanks for your good work, and hope to see you and talk to Lisa and Nikki. I've lost the contacts, as I mentioned, from my phone. Please call me if you've got my number. Thank you again. Yielding.
Thank you for all the positivity, Donna. I love it. Let's see here. I think that is everybody on Stack. The hands are down. If you are not on Stack but checking out, if I missed you on checking out and you want to check out, please. Oh, Jackie, that was not very nice of me. Okay, Jackie, check out.
Oh, thank you, Chaz. You did a good job facilitating, and thanks to Lisa for TAing. All I wanted to say as a checkout is to second what Nikki said. We've done a good job on the call. All I have to say is remember the GAs and how rough they were, and that's with people in your own community that you see from time to time. We need these discussions. They're interminable sometimes, but we get things done eventually. It pulls together all the other platforms. Good night, everybody. Check.
Thanks for that check out, Jackie. I'm going to check out here real quick. Hey, great call. It's a little overtime. I try to be more punctual normally, but there was a lot of things that need to be said that were said, so that's good news. I hope everybody has a great week. And real quick, I'm going to open up, Cal had a floor up. I'm going to open up his mic here for a direct response to the checkouts while I check out. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, I just wanted to say, I heard a comment, somebody saying we made one decision in 3 months. It couldn't be farther from the truth. We've actually made over a dozen decisions, probably close to 12.5 decisions, maybe even as many as 20. At least a dozen of them recorded on the decisions pad. We made 2 last week on last week's call. So we've been making decisions. We definitely have. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been efficient sometimes, but we have definitely been doing them. Check.
All right. With that last check out, I'm going to go ahead and put everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Bye. Solidarity forever.
Bye.
Bye.
I can't come on Sunday. I'll Facebook you.
Yeah, everybody. Good night.
Yay.
Yeah.
Bye. You guys rock.
Anybody from Sacramento still on?
I'm still on. This is Delphine.
Are you in Sacramento?
I am in Sacramento, yes.
Oh, good. When do you guys have your GAs?
We have them on the 1st and 3rd Saturdays. Who's this?
First and third. This is Nikki. I'm in LA right now, from Coachella Valley, Palm Springs area.
Cool. Yeah, we have them on the 1st and 3rd Saturdays from 3 to 5-ish at the McKinley Park.
McKinley Park.
And then on the 2nd and 4th Saturdays, we've been sort of following up on NatGat stuff that is locally focused, like logistics and
Same
stuff.
Place? Same place? Same time and place?
At the same place,
Oh, okay.
but I think at I think at 1 o'clock rather than at
1 p.m. What week are we on this week? I don't know. I might
Let me
come
figure
up.
that out.
Sunday I have an event here in LA, but Saturday I could be free and maybe jump up there Friday. Is there a place to pitch a tent? Or crash on a couch?
This Saturday will be the 5th Saturday of the month, and there's no GA or other planning.
It's a week off.
As far as places to pitch a tent, I have to say Sacramento has a very hostile anti-camping ban, and that's totally directed at homeless people, but they will be glad to arrest occupiers as well. And well, of course, there's a lot of crossover among our occupiers here. I mean, a lot of overlap. Homeless occupiers. Anyway.
The Human Bill of Rights is just of critical importance right now. I really would love to bring that to Jerry Brown because I'm fighting that in Palm Springs. That's what I'm doing as my wave of action. It's crazy.
Cool.
Crazy world, Delphine.
Please come up and visit. But as far as coming to a GA, you'd have to wait until the following Saturday, the 3rd. And that will be our next one. Again, 3 to 5 in McKinley Park. McKinley Park is at Alhambra Boulevard between H and F streets.
Okay. And I'm definitely going to get up there soon.
Cool. We meet over by the tennis courts.
Thank you. I love specific directions. All right.
I'm hoping we can identify a few more places as well.
Very good, very good. Yeah, that would be good. I'm going to be talking to an interfaith group on Friday. A lot of old school activists, the old anti-nuke people, the ones that I was out there with George Bush with. So I'm going to try to motivate them to get the RVs warmed up.
Cool.
And join us up
we
there.
need more folks like that up here. I can definitely connect you guys with our Sacramento area peace action. We have a lot of folks who've been fighting nukes and militarism and war for like 25 or 30 years up here that I work with all the time.
Yeah, I just want to connect the old school with the old school and bring as many people as we can. All right. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.